Brother, it is time to bring your light to the world. 2024 is a juicy, juicy year of goodness. Maybe you can already feel the frequency of it. This is the year where powerful men like you fully step into your greatness. And here's the thing. This stepping into your greatness in this new frequency, this new earth vibration that we're in, it's not about effort, it's not about grind, it's not about struggle and fight. We've learned the lessons from those dynamics. We've learned the lessons from it. The new kind of warrior is a heart warrior, and he's not a warrior who feels a need to prove himself or to fight against the darkness of reality. He's the warrior who goes inwards and discovers the light that he is and has the courage to fully and boldly shine it in the way that it wants to be shined through him, i.e., you have a very unique essence and a very unique way that the light wants to come through you, right? And we've moved out of a time where it was all about copying the gurus. It was all about looking at what other people were doing and, trying to emulate success or being conditioned by external worlds and external people. And this is kind of the world of self-help. I'm talking to you as a powerful brother who's here with a mission, who probably has created some success in his life, and you've felt and known that the success never really lasted. The material things, the money, the business, the relationship, there's always been like something is missing. This is the time where we discover what that something is, okay? And it's going to sound a little bit cliche, but there's a part of you that knows this is true. That something is you. That something is a connection with your true, authentic self. And it's actually the letting go of the story that anything is missing. You see, we're moving out of separation into a remembering of our wholeness, a remembering of our oneness, right? And that is the new kind of man, what I call the holistic man, the warriors of the new earth, the men that are here to lay the foundations of a more loving society, who are here with mission and purpose and calling. But that mission and purpose and calling is all about you and expressing your own unique essence in your own unique way. It is freedom, it is pure liberation, and it is a responsibility to bring that liberation and that freedom to the world so that other people can discover it for themselves. There is something that wants to be birthed through you. And all of the effort and the grinding and the struggle in trying to make things happen, this old world, dense way of doing things, it's time for that to go. In this space, if you're plugging into this container, if you're watching this video right now, especially if there's something in your heart that's stirring, but even if there's not, the likelihood is you're one of these men that I call leaders of the new earth. You are a man who's here to remember that you're a holistic man, right? I want to tell you in this video exactly what this is all about, what this vision is that's coming through me that you are now a part of, that you're going to be a part of, because it's really freaking exciting and I want to bring you into it. So there's a couple things I'm going to tell you about. First of all, what the holistic man is and why it's so important. Second of all, what the Brotherhood is and the Brotherhood that's building here in my space that I'm kind of co-leading with you and I'm facilitating, but that you can be a part of co-creating as well. And then the vortex. So there's three aspects to this. The first thing that I want to talk about is this idea of the holistic man. What I used to see when I was looking around at a lot of men's work, when I first got the calling to really step into being a men's coach, a men's guide, a men's facilitator, was that there was a lot of warrior essence work out there. And a lot of it was about kind of connecting with the masculine, bringing forth your power, which is all really needed and important. But there was always this part of me that understood that we're more than just the warrior, right? And actually, we're even more than just the masculine. We are the feminine too. We are all of it. We have all of it within us. And the real power comes from that divine union of the masculine, feminine energies, right? Within ourselves and then creating from that place. And this is the biggest shift. This is the biggest shift that I think powerful men like you, that I know powerful men like you are here to now walk and that we are doing in this space, that I am helping brothers like you embark on. It is the shift from taking action from a place of motivation, right? Where you're kind of looking out and you're like, oh, I want to create that, or I see a problem here and I'm motivating myself to go and do something about it. Working at the dense physical 3D level of, form, to actually working energetically and energetically, i.e., creating the wholeness and the light and the inspiration within you, and creating from that place of inspiration, discovering how whole and abundant and incredible and loving you are, and feeling inspired to show up and create systems, businesses, ideas, services, whatever it is, music, that is an expression of your wholeness. Do you feel the difference? In the old world, it was like, I feel like something's lacking and I'm kind of motivating myself to go out and get it, and I want to create time freedom and money freedom, and I want to help people and serve. But it's underneath it, there's this lack. There's this sense of unfulfillment, which served its role, you know. It's not like we're shaming that. It's great. What I'm offering is that in this new earth, this 5D way of living, this more connected, higher frequency, you know, where we're becoming more energetic beings and expanding into more of our true potential, it's about connecting with this idea of holisticness. And holistic, the word holistic comes from the word holism, which means that we understand that you can't see an individual part and understand it without seeing its reference to the whole. I.e., in spiritual wisdom, as we know, everything is one. All is one, and that one is God, and that God is you, that source, that light, that love, whatever it is. And so when we understand that connection, we understand that you're not a separate self, that you're not just one thing, that you are everything, but that everything in a sort of slightly paradoxical way expresses in a unique way through you that can appear as separation. But our calling is to ground into the knowing that we're not separate, to ground into the knowing that we are whole, that we are all of it, that I am, that I am, that I am, and I know that I know that I know, and create from that knowing. Do you feel the difference in this frequency? It's moving from the place that you want to be, moving from the knowing you are already the man that you're trying to be. There is no need for self-help. There is no need for self-improvement. You can't fix what's already perfect. At the ultimate level, you are perfect. And it's not arrogance to own that. It's actually humility, because you're humbling the egoic, separate, small self that has been told a story or has been telling you a story that you are separate. And that fuels separation, that fuels ego, and it fuels arrogance and motivation, because this small separate self that you thought that you were feels a need to compete and put itself above others, right, in order to kind of get what it wants. When we let go of that and we humble that ego and remember that the true nature of what we are, even though we're here playing the game of a separate self, is whole, is limitless, and is connected to all that is. And when we ground into that knowing, and we receive more of that God self, more of that source, more of that infinite abundance that I am, and we create from that place, we get out of the way of what's trying to happen through us. Life becomes more magical, it becomes more playful. It also becomes more of a responsibility, but not in a way that it's like a pressure and a weight and a burden and something that makes you like, oh, in a way where it's like, yes, I have an ability to respond to what's going on in the world and bring more light to it through who I am being, more than what I am doing. And when you're doing is an expression of your being, it becomes a play. It becomes a dance instead of an effort and a grind and a struggle. This is the core essence of what the Holistic Man Brotherhood is all about, what this idea of the Holistic Man is all about. And it starts with understanding that, yes, we can build our warrior and we want to do that, but actually, and this comes from some the ancient Celtic Grail tradition, which was a mystic tradition before the Roman era, you know, kind of just destroyed all the connection to the divine, you know, and they came and the empire. Anyway, you get the point. The Celtic mystery tradition understood that for a man to really step into his wholeness, he needs to go on a rite of passage that's facilitated by a divine feminine mystic priestess. The reason for this is because for a man to understand his wholeness, he needs to free his inner feminine, right? The stories of the woman, the damsel in distress locked in a tower, is a story about the feminine that's been locked inside of your heart and put a wall around it because of all the stories and the fears and the conditionings of our culture that get us as men to actually push away our femininity. There's a lot of stories that in the kind of men's space that men are being feminized, and it's kind of true, but it's not really true, actually. We're missing the point because they talk about it in a sense where the feminization is really an unintegrated, immature kind of feminine. It's the pursuit of pleasure and like comfort because ultimately we're disconnected from our true source and our true essence, the love that we are, which is the real feminine, which is the real goddess. So as you go into your heart, as you go into a rite of passage inside and look at the things that are, you know, your traumas and your demons and your darkness of the underworld, that are your underworld, that are keeping your essence, your love, your infinite nature, your feminine essence, your inner feminine goddess from being known and felt and expressed inside of you. As you go through that, you free those things and you return to the wholeness. You remember that, oh, I already am everything that I'm seeking, right? You free your feminine, you free that radiant divine beauty that's inside of you. You start to feel whole. Holistic, right? And that then inspires your masculine to come and step forward and show up and serve at a higher level. This is the kind of philosophy and ideas that have been coming through to me. And the more that I've deepened into this myself and guided men like you on this journey, I've seen how true it is. And so what I'm offering here with this path of the holistic man is actually a much more joyful, radiant, and empowering and inspiring path to unlocking your masculine power. And it starts with freeing your feminine, because when you do that and you connect with all of that love and joy and juiciness, it inspires you to show up instead of feeling like you have to pressure, force, effort, and grind yourself to show up. And the more we deepen into this, and the more we open our hearts, and the more we play, the more we have fun, the more we free our inner child, the more we let go of the stories that life is a fight and it's hard and it's a struggle, the more juicy it becomes and the more inspired we become to create. That is the kind of philosophy in a nutshell. So what we're then building, the next step, is the brotherhood. The brotherhood is the idea that, you know, as men, we've been taught for a long time that we're here to compete and fight and struggle. And, you know, there's, for a lot of men like myself, and maybe you resonate with this, there's this sense of kind of never really fully feeling completely safe with other men at the level of like, I can bear my deepest, darkest demons and insecurities to you, because there's always been that element of like, fear and distrust. Am I going to be rejected? Am I going to be shamed? Because each man has been conditioned in this way of fearing the emotional inner world, right? Fearing these traumas and things, because that's the way our society's set up. So a big part of the brotherhood was realizing that actually if we can come together as men now with a shared intention to open our hearts, to go into the darkness, to, you know, bring our light to the surface through bringing our shadows to the surface and being seen, it's incredibly healing. It's incredibly, incredibly healing. And as we as men can come together in brotherhood, in this holistic man philosophy, right, where we understand, hey, we're all of it and we're going to free our feminine too, because that takes real courage to do that. It takes real courage to stand in your own essence and, like, you know, really just own the beauty and the playfulness and the dance that wants to come through you, but with this grounded, powerful integrity that is the divine masculine energy. It creates a real powerful connection, a real powerful brotherhood. And what I see this becoming is leaders of the new earth, which to me basically just means leading in this, you know, honoring your calling to step into a more whole, holistic, integrated, powerful, connected, loving being, the truth of who you are, the unique essence that wants to shine through you, not the story of who you think you should be that the self-help gurus tell you, right? The courage to be who you truly are. As we come together as men, with more and more of us honoring this, our individual callings and missions start to come through, and we will start to embody those. So this is my mission and calling, is to create this and create this space where I can support other brothers in theirs. We've got men already in here, you know, who are here to bring music to the world, men who are great community builders, men who, you know, are wealth builders, men who are breath work and sound, and these are really just aspects of what the true calling is, because the true calling is to be true, to be whole, to be the I am that I am, and then the way that it expresses, you know, is how it expresses. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. And maybe there's something in your life that you feel like you're here to do, that you're here that you want to bring to the world, a gift, a talent. What the brotherhood is about is inspiring you to bring this out more fully without any limitation, to connect you with other inspiring men who you might be able to co-create with, right? We're going to be really creating this community where there's co-creations happening. We're doing events together around the world. And the way I hold space is when I do these Brotherhood vortexes, and we're going to talk about the vortex in a minute, it invites everyone's gifts to come to the table. So it's not this hierarchical kind of, you're here to learn from me and I'm the boss and you've got to do, no, we're all here co-creating and co-leading together and bringing our individual gifts. It's a really magical way of doing things. And it is, again, it is what feels like a calling for this new type of man, this new type of being that we're here to be, where we understand that we're all one and we're all mirrors and reflections of each other. So that's the Brotherhood element. I've got a community platform online where we're going to be connecting. There's going to be monthly vortexes or men's circles. There's going to be retreats and things around the world where we get together in person. And then the real juicy aspect of it is the vortex. So the vortex, the idea behind it, came to me when I realized I don't want to create a program or a container, because these again feel like very linear, dense, old world way of doing things. I don't want to contain you. I want to take the container off and help you realize how limitless you are. And I don't want to give you a program, because how can I tell you what you need to do to become who you truly are? Only you can discover that. That's what we're really doing here. We're discovering who we are. So again, you feel the freedom of this instead of this like linear transactional way of doing things that it works for some people, but if you're here, I'm guessing you feel a calling to something different, which is what we're here to offer, what I'm here to offer. So I didn't want to do a program and I didn't want to do a container. And then this idea of the vortex came through, creating an energy vortex. Because what I saw was, as we come together as men, and we sit in a circle, whether that's in person or whether it's online, and we open our hearts and we have a shared intention to bring our energy fully to the table, to bring our gifts fully to the table, it starts to create an energy vortex that starts to spin and it gains momentum, right? Because this is what energy does, it spirals. And as we have that shared intention to live at our highest, to bring a new earth into fruition, to bring our gifts, this vortex builds and builds energy and it spins more and more, and it starts to feed each of us and it starts to inspire us more into our greatness, and it becomes this powerful, almost rocket ship, spaceship to pull us into this new earth frequency that we're building here together. It's a real tangible, powerful thing. And it's amazing because the vortex, as I've deepened into this calling, I've received callings to travel around the world and go to certain vortex hotspots around the earth, Bali, Glastonbury in the UK, Sedona and Salt Lake City in America, these actual vortex points where you can kind of feel this energy and they have their own unique frequency that kind of manifests in a certain way. Well, we're creating our own one here. And the key is, yes, it's the Holistic Man Brotherhood, but it's also this word liberation. The liberation vortex, because we're liberating ourselves from the patterns and the shame and the prove yourself dynamic and all the stories that have kept us as men kind of bound to a life of struggle and that often make us want to escape or play small. It's just this real taking the lid off to allow you to be who you truly are and to feel that freedom. I want you to feel that right now, like breathe into it. How would I move if I were truly free? Right? If there was no more should, if there was no more have to, it's just purely coming from a place of like, I get to, and this is who I am. Feel the energy, pick up the vibration that I'm putting down here, because I'm speaking to a part of you that wants this, that knows that this is here for you. And this is what the liberation vortex is. So it's a 13 week. Originally it was 12, but actually because we're trying to align to natural time and natural cycles of time, 12 is actually a linear model, right? Which is what the Gregorian calendar, the calendar we uses, and it's what keeps us plugged into this kind of hustle and grind linear idea of time. That's another conversation in itself. 13 is actually the more natural number, and it connects us with that kind of mystic edge, right? Because if we just have 12, we move around in circles linearly. But if we have 13, there's a step up, right? So you see this cycle, and the vortex is here naturally everywhere. 13 is actually how many moons we have in a calendar year. And it's how many months we should have. If we were to have 13 months, then it would be 13 months of 28 days with a full moon and a new moon in each month. And each month would start on a Monday and would end on a Sunday. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. It's certainly very similar to that, if not exactly that. So this is the more natural time. So this is why we do 13 weeks, because it aligns us with more natural time. We also start to work with the Mayan galactic calendar, which is aligned with natural time and helps us understand our own cycles and the Earth cycles. So again, it removes this pressure that you feel to always be producing and always be making things happen and have to be the same day after day after day. And through understanding your own energetic signature, because we do readings, human design, gene keys, and the Mayan calendar to help you understand that you have your own unique soul blueprint and your own unique medicine and journey and path to go through. You're going to understand yourself in a whole new way. You're going to feel so seen, and you're going to actually start to give yourself permission to be who you are, where you are in your life, and to deepen into that, which is going to accelerate your journey and take the pressure off, take the lid off, to allow you to really show up as who you are and bring your gifts. Because all of this pressure to be who we think we're supposed to be and to be producing all the time actually makes us sabotage and weighs us down. I know you feel this. So as we come into this liberation vortex and we understand ourselves more, we understand how the laws of reality work, natural laws, universal laws, energetic laws of manifestation, we start to become magicians. We start to learn how to move energy, how to use energy for our advantage, and then express that energy and express that magic through us. And that's the lover, that's the musician, right? And then the other part of it is also still the warrior, because this inspires this, wow, I'm fucking gonna bring my power to the table, right? It inspires that masculine warrior energy that we also do connect with as well. So I know I'm giving you a lot here. The key is just to absorb this all and feel what you feel in your heart. Because if this is for you, you're gonna feel it in your heart. And you're going to be a soul-aligned brother, because the truth is I'm only allowing what I call soul brothers in, people who really see this and who get it, and who I believe at some level we're soul bonded to come and do this work together. It's a fucking magical space. It's a really cool thing. So this 13-week journey is going to be you and 5 other brothers plus myself, 7, a very magical number that's connected to the divine. See, there's a lot of mystical stuff within all of this, which will help you unlock that part of you that's very drawn to myths and legends. And, you know, without taking it too seriously and trying to understand it, it will take you out of that rational brain that you've been stuck in your whole life to bring out more of the right brain, the left brain, the other side of your brain, the more creative, free, mystical expression. And it's going to, again, help you tap into magic so that you can start to bend reality to your heart's desires and actually create things and create really awesome stuff together. And that's why it's called a vortex, because instead of it being, we're going to do this linearly and we're going to have this week, we come together each week and we co-create. And it depends on the energy of the group. It depends on kind of where we are at together. But there's going to be like mind, body, soul practices, right? So we work at the mental level, we work at the body level with embodiment practices, sexual kung fu, learning how to channel your sexual energy, learning how to move energy through your body, learning how to release trauma patterns. We're going to work at the soul level, inviting your music and what lights you up more to the table. And it's just going to become, it just becomes this incredible vortex that starts to spin and bring you further forward into your power. So that's really as much as I want to tell you about this, because the key is that to be right for this, you have to be willing to let go of that rational, pragmatic part of your brain that wants to understand everything linearly and have okay, I pay this and I get this and I have that and we get that, right? And it's much more like hey, this is an infinite possibility. This is a spaceship where every single man comes in and brings what he wants to bring to the table, commits to being all in to this way of living and to realizing a new earth through his own being. And then we see what magic wants to unfold, right? It takes courage to do that, but this is the courage that we're being asked to step into as men, because it means we're aligning more with universal flow. We're surrendering more to the universe, which gives us more power, gives us more potency, and makes life a hell of a lot more fun, free, and juicy. So you feel this energy, I know you do, because it's fucking magic and you were meant to see this video. The question is, what do you do next if you feel this? Well, book a call in with me. Very straightforward. In the link below, you'll see a link to my calendar where you can book in what I call a free liberation session. This will be about a 1-hour session. Sometimes we go a little bit longer, to really dive into your journey, to help you see what's been holding you back, to help you feel really seen. I have a very special gift, to be honest. This is my medicine for one-to-one guidance. It's not even really coaching. It's a mix of therapeutic work, shamanic kind of energetic work. Like, we just have a conversation, really, that will help you feel seen and understand yourself and start to feel inspired for what you want to bring to the table and what you want to bring out and how we can do that and how we can co-create. And if you are right and if you are ready for the vortex, then I'll invite you into it. And at that point, I give you an option, the opportunity to choose what you want to invest. I have a minimum amount that I don't tell people about, because what I want to do, I want to make sure that everyone who's in this vortex is living at their edge. That's the only condition I have. As long as you're at this minimum point that, you know, because I have to run a business and, you know, there's value to this. But as long as you're above that minimum point and you're at your edge for financially for what this investment is, because it's like an energetic commitment that you're offering into this vortex that gives it more energy. That's all that matters, because a millionaire might come in and, you know, 100,000 might be their edge, whereas somebody who works at Tesco's or at a shop, you know, might be much less than that. It might be a couple thousand or whatever it is, you know. So it's kind of that energy that we're creating here together. And we're also rewiring wealth codes, because what we're doing is opening to abundance and realizing just how fucking wealthy and abundant we're here to be. And part of that means, a key part of it means learning how to let go of the attachment and actually make a financial investment as well. So that's part of the offering here that I'm putting forward as well. If you feel something in you right now that's like, oh, money, then, you know, this is something that's really worth exploring, right? We can have a conversation about it. And even if it's that you're not ready to come and work with me and invest yet, there's still going to be ways to plug in for free in the monthly calls and, you know, still be a part of this space. And this call, this opportunity to speak with me is still here for you if you feel the resonance, right? I'm offering this to serve and as a free offering, that call. But it's definitely worth exploring that. And I just wanted to say that. The final thing to say is that for the people who are really here to be all in, you get the chance to work with me one-to-one. And that is for the men who are like, yes, I'm ready, let's fucking go. And we're going to do the vortex and we're going to work together one-to-one to really bring out your unique medicine to the table. Now, in my YouTube channel, I have a couple of cool recordings from some recent Soul Brother clients. Will, Vladimir, Morton will be coming up soon too. So you can see like genuine responses from these brothers as to kind of how powerful and impactful this experience is. I really invite you to go and have a watch of that. And particularly right now, if you feel the inspiration, don't wait, just take action right now. Book in a call with me, because we're going to be starting. This video is going to stay up probably beyond this next vortex, right? So I'll put in the description when the next one is. But if you're watching this when I post it at the end of 2023, the next vortex is going to be starting in mid-January. I don't have an exact date yet. There's a reason that I don't have an exact date, which we can discuss when we speak together, but it's going to be in mid-January and you have an opportunity to be a part of it. So if you feel it, know that there's nothing that can hold you back. If you decide this, there's genuinely nothing that can hold you back. This is the space of limitless possibilities. This is the new earth. This is the vortex. It's freaking awesome. And I'm so excited for you to be a part of it. So book in your conversation with me. Let's have a chat, brother, and let's co-create magic together, because it's time. I love you very much. Appreciate you watching this video, and I'll see you in a call.